That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
Fairly learned here.
One of the more well thought out designs of literally something I've never seen before in my life until this movie, which is, of course, the character of the Chatterer.
Yes.
You know, such an iconic look.
Such a creepy look.
You know, it's just mouth. it's
Right. Like his face has just been so severely disfigured, and his lips have been peeled back to just expose his teeth.
And there's even wiring keeping his no flesh or touching his teeth at all. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
right.
if I was reading,
well, and remember, I believe it was film number 2 that they showed that originally he was a child.
Isn't that the most morbid thing on earth?
Right?
Like you just don't think about it for more than 5 minutes, but because it'll jack you up. But he was a child. He was like a 10-year-old.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, I think so.
And I know there's probably canon that goes back to really breaking down his origin and stuff like that, but I think I'm okay as a fan knowing just that. I think once you know more about the creature, it loses its mystique. You know what I mean?
Good point.
So I could be like, just know his total back. His name was Hank Harrison, and he got the box because he lost it in a game of Pong. I don't know, you know, in the 90s, and they worked him over. But he's kind of makes me think he's the enforcer of the Cenobites.
Definitely. And he gives off that vibe as well.
Yes, he's the only one who gets physical with Kirsty. He's the one who kind of keeps her in place for her judgment of the gash. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes.
He walks up to her, he grabs her, he puts his fingers down her throat with his weird little finger gloves. You know what I mean? Which is the most hated thing of this podcast.
The finger gloves.
Hashtag no finger gloves.
Oh my God.
Let's make it a movement, Alejandro.
Oh my! Can you imagine? Clive Barker's going to come out of nowhere and be like, well, I hated them too, but
they made me do it. My biggest thing is I just want to walk up to Clive Barker and confront him about Rawhead Rex. That's all I want to do.
Oh gosh.
He probably will beat me up or something, but it'll be worth it. Anywho.
What I'm noticing, the more I look at Chatterer, is he also has a gash on his neck as well and across his chest.
Yes. And I'm just starting to see that after years of watching these movies, I'm starting to see that through line for all of the Cenobites. They all have gashes, you know what I mean, on one way or another. And like you said, his is across his throat, you know, and down his chest. For reasons I'm not sure how that would play into his Cenobite motif, as it were.
Well, and so I'm wondering if that's where. So for the opening scene of the very first film, the chains are attacking and rip him apart, right?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if for these characters, for the Cenobites back when they were human, if similarly it was the chains that made those scars.
I would say so. Maybe those were their initial scars from being taken by the Cenobites of that time. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Those were their Lancelot's eternal wound. You know what I mean? As it were. The wound that will never heal was their first wound when they were taken by the Leviathan.
Right. That's what I would think. It makes sense.
Maybe those were the first wounds Pinhead got across his chest when he first was signed on to say, hey, get ready to have some fun. And, you know, those were where the chains landed for him. Maybe even with the female Cenobite Whisperer, that the chains hit her throat first. Kind of spread that open. That would be kind of cool, right? Like that's your entry point. That's, you know, when you go see Rocky Horror, they put the big V on your head. That's your entrance point.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
God.
Yeah, I'm old school Rocky Horror.
Just like the bad aim, and wherever it lands, that's your
Yeah,
channel mark.
that's your cutie mark, as it were, if we really do on My Little Pony. That's so disturbing. Okay, no, moving on. I don't want Hellraiser cutie marks. No, that's not great. Uh,
No, not at
not at all.
all.
Not for this podcast. No, I'm just kidding. Have them all day. But I was just kind of reading where their heads were at when they were doing his design, and that it's because when he was created, the wounds that they inflicted on his face kept healing over each other to the point where they started to become biomorphic.
Yeah.
Where they'll cut him over his eye and the swelling would just stay. They'll cut him over his face. They did it so many times that the healing flesh covered his eyes. That's why he has no eyes or ears to speak of, because all of his wounds kept kind of blistering over each other. It made that iconic, just what's going on with his head, kind of a Jacob's Ladder kind of look. You know what I mean? Where it's just nothing but the chatter,
That's
the
really
clicking,
gross.
that and he is the only one that actually scared me when I first saw it as a kid. I didn't like it. I didn't want nothing to do with Chatterer when I was a
Right.
kid. Pinhead, I can play video games with Pinhead. He's fine. But Chatterer, no. Keep him away from me, man. No. His leather is a bit more tactical, if that makes any sense. He doesn't have the
Right.
floating robe.
It looks battle ready.
Right. It almost looks like bio armor, like almost Japanese inspired. Like Sentai Warrior kind of. You know what I mean? He almost looks like the Guyver. This dude, he's ready to go. He has the cool like neck collar that kind of goes up and around the back of his head. You know, I think that's such a cool look. He has the open slits on his chest. Of course, his stomach is exposed, which all of them are in a weird way. All of them have that weird little kind of like tummy trail that just opens up. You can see like his form of torture, which was body scarification. You know.
Well, and he is also the only one that has like a major change between the two films.
Yes, absolutely. In Hellbound, he gets his vision. He gets his sight back. Right?
Yes, the wires are gone, I believe.
Yeah, he's like he went to go see like a plastic surgeon, and they took care of him. He's like, guys, I'm going to use my PTO, and I'm going to go get some. I'm going to upgrade.
Oh my god!
The Pinhead was like, fine.
Just casually goes up to the human world to get some surgery done.
Yeah, he went and got some Botox to loosen that right up. Came back with his eyes glistening, and Pinhead did not like it. He was like, no. It is not Botox that summons us. It is desire. But I'm sorry. I love this look. I think him being the muscle of the gash kind of is all into his design, which is very streamlined. There's no flourishes. There's no flowing anything. He's just a weapon. He almost looks like a xenomorph in a weird way.
He does. I was thinking that. I wonder, timeline-wise, what came first?
He looks like an alien. Oh, Alien came out like in 1970 something, 76, and this came out.
I think Alien
may have come first.
Right?
I think. I don't want to. I may be wrong. Yes, and Hellraiser was like, 81? I have to know.
87.
There you go.
And so I'm wondering how much of Chatterer was inspired by the Xenomorphs.
I would. I wonder if anyone's ever brought that up to Clive, or if he's ever admitted it. If it is something to admit, because it could just be two brains thinking of the same thing. Like, what's more terrifying than seeing a mouth in the dark? You know what I mean? just coming at you. What's more primal than that? You know what I mean? And I think the Chatterer's look is one of the stronger of the entire series. Just first movie knocked it out the park. With all the other Cenobite designs through the years, I think between him and Pinheads are the strongest.
Yes, I will say though, he definitely has some good teeth going on. Like, those are some white teeth. Yes,
he has excellent teeth. He's proud. You know how expensive it is to import, you know what I mean, toothpaste in Leviathan. It takes him like
Oh my
when he goes
god.
up that one time to get his Botox, he just buys
Stop by the dentist's
twenty
office on the
thousand
way
dollars
home.
worth of toothpaste for the next 50,000 years. Yeah, I need a root canal. Will you stop chattering? No. You have to work through the chatter. Poor Dennis. I hope he got paid.
Oh my
I wonder
gosh.
what health insurance is like in the Leviathan with all that damage. Anywho, but his teeth are abnormally white. You would think they'll be kind of, because even Pinhead has some kind of teeth distortion.
Yes, yes.
Like they put some stuff on his teeth to make it look black or maybe chipped or something like that. But his teeth are on point. Like he's, he got an A+. He flosses and everything.
Ugh.
Doesn't hurt at all. Floss with metal. Yikes. If you could change one thing about Chatterer's look, what would you change? What would you add or subtract from him to make him a bit more formidable or scary or anything of that nature?
I would have used the original from the first Hellraiser. I think the changes that they made for Hellbound definitely softened him up a bit. And I
Yeah.
understand that it was for the actor's benefit because the actor himself could not see, but I would have kept it as how he originally was.
Same here. Like when I mentally think about Chatterer, I think about the Hellraiser 1 look where he just had no eyes. That's, and him adding eyes onto him made it look weird. It almost broke the uncanny valley of that character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It made me less afraid of him. If I was to add anything to him, I'm always for. It's like the point of the whole look of the Cenobites
Right.
is that it's black on black on black, and it's kind of hard to fight that. But with Butterball, you had a splash of white, so maybe add some color to him.
Oh,
maybe on the
interesting.
second layer of his armor, maybe make it like a blood red. You know what I mean? You know how in Francis Ford Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula, the original Vlad the Impaler suit was that bubbled red armor that Gary Oldman wore. I'm thinking like that, but maybe as the secondary color. So of course the black leather, maybe some deep red leather splashes, maybe on his knee pads, on his corset, will make him pop up just a little bit. Because I love the subtlety of these designs. And I think that just maybe adding a splash of color may make the eye travel a little bit more. But I get that you want all the focus to be on the deformity. You know what I mean? But I don't know.
Well, see, and I think out of all of them, his is the one that I feel like I would definitely be able to see in an S&M club in New York or Amsterdam.
Yeah, absolutely. I know so many people must have cosplayed as him for Halloween. Just I have the suit in my closet. I just have to put a plastic bag on my head and open up the mouth. Just cut a little plastic hole in like a little in a bag, and I'm ready to go. Yeah, his is less costumey than the other three rather. You know what I mean? You can pull this off, but cosplaying as, let's say, Butterball is probably way more difficult to do, or even Pinhead himself. So yeah, absolutely. Oh man, and that's Chatterer. I would say the muscle of the Order of the Gash, and personally, the scariest one to me, hands down.
No, definitely the one that sends some shivers down your spine when you see him.